First day we flew from Seattle to Minneapolis.
And then driving from Minneapolis to Madison, Wisconsin.
Now she eats it. She doesn't want you to take it. This was both me and JD's first time in Wisconsin and Minnesota.
It was really cool seeing new states. It was also really cool to see where Russell Wilson went to college in Madison. He's my all-time favorite player, so it was pretty nice.
Day 2, we started off going to Des Plaines, Illinois, where my mom grew up. We got a picture with her childhood home. How did I zoom out? We went to the United Center where JD got a picture of him getting dunked on by Michael Jordan statue. Then we went along the southern part of Great Lakes to the Indiana-Michigan border. Indiana and Michigan were first-time states for both me and JD, and Illinois was also first for JD. Storms started blowing up next to us, and so we started to drop south to get a close look at the base. Dang, look at this tower. I don't even know if my camera can get it all. Can't even get the whole thing. On our way to our hotel in Des Moines, Iowa, we noticed the southwestern storm started to develop a hook, and then it became tornado warned. So we got right behind. We ended up on great position on this storm, like right at the southern tail where the mesocyclone is. You could see at times the funnel clouds in the video. It was a very cool storm, had great lightning show. We were pretty tired though. We headed back to our hotel in Des Moines, Iowa.
Day 3 started off where we left off in Des Moines, Iowa. We were on our way to South Dakota, hopefully catch some storm the next day. And on our way, we stopped in Nebraska, and we stopped at this like a ghost town. It's like Red Dead Redemption, like old Western people.
McLevin. And it is. Oh, we got it. They should have a gun draw. See the ghost horse. That's creepy. Oh no, he fell in a well.
The Manchester town that got hit by a tornado. It had a population around 100,000 in its peak, and then the population slowly declined, and then a tornado just finished it off. And then we stayed in Hawn, South Dakota. Day 4, we headed out of Hawn, South Dakota, and headed towards Devil's Tower, Wyoming.
So this is just over the border of Wyoming, right before we saw Devil's Tower. Actually, after this, dropped southeast into Wyoming to see the start of a storm that would end up taking us back toward Devil's Tower. Devil's Tower was like the one place JD wanted to visit. At this point, we had no good road networks to keep up with it, so we had to drop south and go east and come back up from the south right on the tail. We got very close to it, but other storms were popping up and sort of pinning us in, and it was very high precipitation, so we opted to go to our hotel. But first we made a pit stop for McLovin to say hi to some cows in Hoover, South Dakota. That cow's a rapist. McLovin's like, what the? There's so many of them. Just to show how crazy this environment was, on the way back to our hotel in Spearfish, South Dakota, we were driving south, and there was like 4 like small blips on the radar of rain clouds, and as soon as we passed the first one, radar showed it just popped up into almost a supercell like instantly, and then on the remaining 3 did the same thing, just boop boop boop, and just line of supercells right behind us like instantly, which was pretty crazy. But we got a good lightning show on the way too.
Day 5. This was a non-chase day again. We were heading toward North Dakota to see if we could catch storms up there later. We did, however, stop in Enderlin, where the EF5 tornado, the first EF5 in 12 years.
Holy moly. No damage. Gosh dang. Now that's obvious damage. And then it went here. Look at this. The houses are completely gone.
And you could see where the houses got hit. One of the people that survived, they were rebuilding their house, and the other house was just completely destroyed. It was pretty sad.
Gosh, look at the trees though. Look at all the damage. Like, isn't this is like way more obvious than it was. So much more noticeable like here. It's so crazy. Look at the roots sticking out of the ground right there. It's crazy. We then just headed to our hotel to get ready for the next day, which was supposed to have a pretty explosive storm setup.
On our way to the hotel in Valley City, we watched the Knicks and Spurs game. For day 6, we woke up fairly early to go to Jamestown to see the world's largest buffalo statue, but I think it's actually a bison. It was still really cool.
So we drove a lot of miles, I think 638 miles this day, and a lot of it was back and forth. We first went east toward Bismarck, where the more certain setup was, of a line of explosive supercells could develop. About 200 miles east, I learned that there was a chance for an isolated supercell east toward Fargo. So I turned around, went back through where we started to Fargo, and we tracked a supercell that couldn't break the cap. And then we found another supercell more south by the South Dakota border. That one didn't break the cap. The storm could break the cap. It was going to be in a great environment. We just couldn't get it to break the cap. We even drove back west again and to try to intercept the line of storms, and I was super tired, so I just turned around back to Fargo, and we stayed at this hotel. Eventually the line of storms came over at 2 in the morning, and that's what you're looking at now.
The motel, I wasn't a big fan.
There were a lot of tweakers around the area, it seemed like. I knew the risk of this day of trying to get an isolated supercell rather than the more certain setup, but after today I was not willing to risk it. I was going to try to get the more certain setups the next couple of days to get us a tornado. We drove and waited in St. Cloud, Minnesota for a good forecasted storm.
11, you spilled your food. I'm trying to pick it up. I'm trying to pick up your food and you're like barking, biting me.
After waiting for a few hours, we saw some cumulus clouds popping up, so we decided to go a little bit south of us near Hutchinson, Minnesota, in hopes that they would break the cap. It looked like I jumped the gun on this storm a little early and break the cap, and so we went back towards St. Cloud, and then a little bit later, the same cloud blew up into a supercell. This is it. There's no. Please drop a tornado. And this was a relief to see the storm break the cap, and we got in really good position on this. We were in a lot of pretty populated areas trying to track it. I honestly thought this part of our chase had the best chance of a tornado. It was isolated before other storms started to merge with it.
The storms were fairly slow to blow up, but they did blow up, and they were pretty cool, and we followed them all the way out to Wisconsin.
We were tailing it toward Wyoming and Chisago, Minnesota. That's kind of confusing, city names. Near the Wisconsin border, as we decided to drop a bit south and east to be in better position. It's like chasing in Washington. This is ridiculous. Can't see anything. Yeah, there was just no break in the trees. I felt like I was back home chasing. With the storm mergers that were happening and our inability to see in this area, I decided to drop a bit south. So dropping south, we tried catching up with the storm through Forest Lake, Minnesota to the Wisconsin border, and actually ended up going through my friend's hometown of Scandia, Minnesota. My son had pointed it out that we went through it. Are you sure this isn't like when's the border to Wisconsin?
Yeah. Yeah, the border's right across the river. Okay, this is in Scandia, Minnesota.
Even though we didn't get the preferred terrain in Minnesota, Minnesota was a beautiful state to look at. I'd see a tornado from Scandia in the distance. Kind of became messy, and I wanted to make sure we got to our setup in Illinois the next day for the most elevated tornado risk of our trip.
We decided to stay in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. There's predicted to be a big outbreak tomorrow. We're going to rest up early to wake up early the next day. Day 8 comes, and we wake up very early, like 5 in the morning.
Ready to see a tornado, McLevin? So see the full video for the full story of our morning. It was a frustrating morning and pretty tiring last couple of days. But little did we know that things were about to pay off. But we targeted near Carthage, Illinois to start. Sometimes the camera actually picks up stuff a little better, but it's moving this way. There was actually a brief tornado reported in this area just east of Carthage at this time. You can see the storm to our south developing and heading toward us. As it got closer, we get in the car and move us a little bit southeast below the storm. I first started heading east and then tried to race the storm south. I'm not risking going down gravel road right now.
We saw like a pure straight gravel road, it was wet, so we decided to turn around.
So I headed up north on this road and was planning to head east, but I stopped to make sure I could find a good southern paved route.
There's a chaser behind us that knew there was a funnel. He was honking at us because we were stopped. I think that's a funnel I'm trying to touch. Look at that. Oh! Got pull over. This is a perfect spot. Look at it.
Oh my gosh.
Test it out.
I'm a little worried.
It was like right there. Oh my god, this is crazy. Oh, it's like right in front of us. Oh my god, bro. Bro, the stupid little emergency thing stopped my video. Come on, touchdown, please.
It might be down.
Oh, yep, it's down. It's down. It's down.
Here. It is here. Get a picture.
Going back up again.
It might be roping out right now. I can't even get out, dude. The traffic here is like fucking wild.
You have to break out through Now, we tried to get out of the supercell because it was merging with another one and it was intensifying really fast.
At this point, I was trying to get straight east of the merging storms, which had merged into a squall line. This was one of the craziest environments I've ever seen. All the clouds were moving and looked like funnels everywhere. There was a tornado during this point to our north. It would have been hard to see with all the rain. And I was going like 70 straight east. I kept thinking I was about to get out. We could see the light at the end of the storm, but we could never reach it. The storm was just growing so much. I could never get ahead of it.
It was pretty scary. We were getting dumped in rain. The winds were picking up super fast.
This part was concerning because I noticed the winds shift strongly from the north to the south, indicating there's an updraft. Watch. You don't see anything?
No. I don't see this. Great.
The winds are getting pulled in strong.
Yeah. I'm looking in the field. We didn't know if there was a tornado there or not, and we were trying to get out of there, but we just couldn't. The storm was moving ridiculously fast. So then we decided to just wait it out.
I gave up trying to outrun the storm, and I just drove north into it to the other side, into Bloomington.
We were done for the day. We saw a really great tornado, so we just decided we were gonna spend the night in a hotel in Bloomington. To this point, it has been the nicest hotel that I've stayed at on this. Day 9, the day after the tornado, we went to Springfield, Illinois. Where we saw where Abraham Lincoln lived before he became the president, and we also saw the last remaining tree in the neighborhood that got cut in half from the storm the previous night. And after that, we drove to Missouri, where we saw where the Hawn's Mill massacre was, where there was like a little war between the Mormons and the settlers in Missouri.
This town in Breckenridge, Missouri was 9 miles north of the actual Hawn's Mill site, but they had a memorial with the original millstone from the mill. Oh, yeah, this is a memorial made in 1941. This may be the other potential spot where the mill was.
We drove to Bethany and stayed a night there. Day 10, we woke up, left Bethany.
We went to northeast Kansas near Topeka to wait for storms to fire up. We started chasing this northern storm, but then the storm behind it started blowing up, so we headed east and north.
Strong for your area. This is not a drill. A tornado has been spotted or detected on radar, and you need to act right now.
Dang, man, this thing looks mean, huh? Yeah. And this storm was tornado warned at the time.
Right
there, you see it? Above the hill, now it's blocked. I see a funnel. We set up a spot where the storms would start going southeast and go right over us. You're putting your head right in front of the camera. Oh. So this was one of the coolest storms I've ever seen, definitely the coolest shelf cloud I've seen. But the storm started to become linear, spanning across several states. I noticed there was a gap in the storms closing in southwest of us, so I booked it about an hour and a half southwest of us toward Junction City. So we raced the storm to Junction City as it's trying to go over us and before it can merge into a line of storms. Junction City, Kansas. Bottom of the storm here. But they might be expanding. I don't know. I'm just trying to get. As you can see, this storm was just a monster. But we found a portion of the storm near Junction City here that was a bit weaker as it was merging and strengthening. But we got to that spot and then went straight north to the back side of the storms as the line of storms started to move east and south.
Seeing winds over 50 miles per hour, at least some gusts. 50 mile per hour wind gusts, that's crazy.
There's a rainbow going over the storm. man, I hope my camera got that one. Aside from the added lightning behind the storm, this would be the best modest clouds I'd ever seen. Pictures don't do justice, of course.
One of the best lighting shows I've ever seen. It was really pretty. We stayed the night in the hotel and watched the Game 5 of the NBA Finals, watched the Knicks take it home.
There you go. Good job. Good. There you go. The Knicks win.
After 53 years, the Knicks are finally NBA champions once again.
So our last day, we pretty much just drove 500 miles to the north to our flight in Minneapolis to fly back to Seattle. On the way, we stopped through Kansas City. We also stopped at the Garden of Eden, according to Joseph Smith, where Adam and Eve once stood, now stands Tweakers, I noticed. Then we go to Liberty, Missouri, just outside of Kansas City to see tornado damage from the night before.
That was it.
And then we drive straight north through Iowa and into Minnesota. We also finally ate Freddy's Steak Burgers in Iowa. It was delicious.
The trip was great. It was really adventurous. We went to 13 states. I saw probably the coolest thing I'll ever see in that rope tornado out in Apava, Illinois. Disappointing moments, but it was all worth it.